Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received from the 25th dimension during my last QHHT Hypnosis session. I'll be reading from a transcript of the session, and when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking of my practitioner who's asking me questions I prepared for the session, and when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from 25th. I would like to thank you, as always, for subscribing to my channel if you haven't already done so, liking and commenting on this video. I do love reading your comments. As you know, I respond to all of them, and it just makes me happy to know that we have a community that is formed around these messages from the 25th. All right, let's jump in here. Lorrayne. Moving on to questions about the 12,000. Do the 12,000 only go to crappy planets? And the 25th was laughing here. Being firefighters, are they always looking for stuff to do and fires to put out, and they get bored if something is awesome? Or do they allow themselves some fantastic experiences? Do they take vacations? I just wanted to know because I just had it with this planet at this point. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. All right, me. No, the 12,000, because we already said the 12,000 don't have to be incarnated on a planet to do their work. So no, the 12,000 just go like everybody else to whatever planet they feel like going. They could be in a very high dimensional planet that doesn't need any recalibration. So yeah, they go everywhere. They're not necessarily just in the thick of, what we think of as bad situations. Or it's not like they're always living in the ghetto. They were laughing here. That's what Claire was thinking. Like, are they always going to the ghetto? They never get to live in cool places? So no, you can live anywhere you want. And you can still do your work anywhere within the multiverse. The reason we are here now physically is because this was such a dire situation. It really required our physical incarnation. And even then, we already said, you don't have to do anything. Even as a 12,000, you don't have to do. It's what we want to do. And so we have wanted to reincarnate here because this is one of the things we do, is that we've discussed this before. We can change the vibration by being present. And so no, we take vacations all the time. Clea by vacation is thinking places that are not as dark as this. This has been the darkest planet in the multiverse ever, okay? But say that this planet hadn't happened, we wouldn't necessarily be living on the other 3D planets that have reached peaks of 60% negative polarity or darkness. We can live anywhere and still act to rebalance. And I can see how this is always my 3D sense of separation that makes me ask these questions. It does make sense that our energy is everywhere. I mean, we are one after all. Lorrayne, it sounds to me like Clay is tired. I mean, oh my goodness, we are all exhausted. Okay, well, seems like it's not just me. Lorrayne, okay, Claire says, was I in the other two takedowns? When was the last time I took a vacation and where? I'm looking for proof here. I'm like, me. So yeah, we were, and we, like really all the 12,000, we were in the previous takedowns as well. We are the ones doing the takedowns. We already said, this is our logistics. It's kind of the job, right? The job description. And when was the last time that Clea took a vacation? I mean, Clea's had many, and she'll become aware of this very shortly. She's had many fun incarnations. So again, what does she think of vacation? She's thinking of vacation because this is what we're going to do on your Earth. We're going to be on vacation. And what it means is that we don't even have to vibrate in a way where we have to fix anything or the people around us, because we're all going to have very similar vibration. And again, a consciousness close to that of the 25th, and so on and so forth. So we don't have to act almost as again, from a 3D perspective, as a conduit for people to get to a different level of vibration or whatever it is. So we're not going to be doing work in that sense. Now, we've also said that everything in the multiverse is fine. People are recalibrating, et cetera, Source inputted new energy about a year ago. This is also percolated as we leveled up all the games. So that's why we can, and we are going to take a vacation, meaning we're not going to be running around. We're not going to be traveling for work, so to speak. And then we're laughing. It is pretty funny, that image. As far as we can tell right now, obviously, there is no future. But so in that sense, I mean, if Claire's thinking of vacation in those terms, this is really the first vacation we take, because we are in the game, but we're really outside the game because there is no veil. But in terms of what we normally do, Clea's had a lot of very pleasant incarnations in past experiences. Again, past quote unquote, on other planets. Where she would think of that right now, looking at it from 3D, she would think of that as a vacation. Doesn't mean she was doing nothing, but it's a vacation. Compared to this planet, I mean, really, pretty much everything is a vacation. Lorrayne, I so need that. And 25th was laughing. Okay, we know the 12,000 is split into 12 here. Does each of the 12 incarnations of a light worker have the same age? So the splitting and incarnating to 12 different bodies happen at the same time, like the same birth date. And the 25th interjected and said no. So here's Lorrayne continuing the question. If not, how does it work? Does one part of the original essence incarnate, and then the rest of the essence waits for the following appropriate NPCs to be born so it can continue incarnating into multiple bodies? And the 25th interjected again saying, yeah. Or does it fully incarnate into one NPC first and then continue splitting into more and more NPCs as the appropriate bodies are born? I'm really so fascinated, I have to tell you guys, by this concept of the 12. So this was another one of my questions in the series. Me. Yeah, we understand. Clea thinks these are two separate questions, like two different options, because she's thinking, does the entire higher self incarnate within a body? The entire higher self does not really incarnate within a body. The entire higher self is really everywhere. So in that sense, no, really. And so whether you incarnate within a body or 12 bodies, it's not like your entire higher self. It's almost like liquid. It's filling one container as opposed to 12 containers. So yeah, the higher self is always at large, if you want to think of it that way. But it decides to imbue a certain NPC. So in this case, yes, 12 NPCs. And yeah, basically chooses as they become available. It chooses the NPC that will work. And just like the other self always chooses an NPC. But instead of choosing one, you keep choosing until you have your 12. There could be age difference in terms of 3D. There could be gender difference. There could be location, geographic difference. Absolutely. We already said a lot of the 12,000 have these 12 incarnations kind of spread out all over the world because it allows you, it helps you, depending on what you're trying to do, it allows you to reach your goal faster. Like for Clea, for example, there's not only the rebalancing, but this is also the reason why, for example, she's traveled so much, because we really have created a network, like a web over the planet. And again, it depends on what the higher self is trying, what the higher self specific goal is, what the light worker specific goal is. So yeah, I mean, we could choose whatever NPC works for us, but generally speaking, they will all work together in this sense. But also, say that one passes away before the others, the higher self will just go and get into a different one. So this is what we've done over the past 500 years. Not all of them were born at the same time. Not all of them die at the same time. And therefore, we just keep this chain going to where we always have 12. We always have 12 at the same time. But it could be completely different. It could be an old person and a baby now. Lorrayne, it seems to me that the 12,000 splitting into 12 is just a sort of a smaller representation of the entirety. And the 25th said, of course, because we're all one. And the 25th said, exactly. And we incarnate in multiple essences. The 12,000 are doing the same thing. They're the entirety splitting into a subsection of 12 for a specific purpose, me. This is very astute of you. In fact, this is what has helped Clea get over herself, being startled and be very confused and overwhelmed by this idea of having 11 other incarnations. And they were laughing because they're always laughing at my expense. It's all right, I can take it. She's afraid, and she's been afraid of losing her identity. This happens. This other person who's in our group, who's one of the 12, who's one of my other incarnations, or I am one of her other incarnations, or whatever it is. Basically, she's one of the 12,000, and she happens to be, we happen to have the same higher self, even though there's only one higher self for all of us. Obviously, we're all one. But this other person has also had the same reaction, because it is trippy, guys. It really is trippy. You feel like you're going to lose who you are. You feel like you're going to lose your family. Now, what are you doing? You're adopting other people's family? How are you going to feel towards these people? These are strangers, because this is how we think at a 3D level. But it's exactly how it is. Clea has realized this, what you just said. She said, yeah, this is the same thing we're all doing. We all have had our quote unquote past incarnations. So what? I'm going to feel the same way towards them. But this was a different person on the outside. The actor in that scene where you knew all these people was a different person. But guess what? It's me. And this person might have had a different personality, but guess what? It's still me. And this is the same thing. It's just that it's happening all at the same time. Now, we already said everything is happening at the same time. So even what we consider to be the past is happening at the same time. So really, what's the difference? There is no difference. It's always, like you said, the same game being played. It's exactly the same. It's just that so happens we are aware of the fact that there are more of us now. So the concept is getting closer to home, right? We're not just saying, yeah, we're all one, Lorraine, you and I are all one. It's literally now you're thinking of this person that is a stranger and you're like, no, this is really me. It's a little bit, we realize it messes with our concept of individuality that we have on earth, because when we're in the game, we do very strongly want to believe in this individuality. So it's kind of weird to think that 12 people are going to turn into one on the earth, but really there was only one to start with. Now one, again, we're using these terms to explain. It's never really one. We are all one. But yeah, in this case, even more so than in general. And they were laughing. So yeah, it's a very interesting concept for Clea. Clea is very fascinated by all of this. Lorraine, thank you. Okay, Clea would like to know, do I know any other of my other incarnations? Do I know any other of my 12 incarnations besides this person in our group, in our community? Yes, she doesn't know them, but she's actually run into, and I believe we talked about this before in the very beginning, she has run into 2 or 3 of her other incarnations on this planet. Lorraine, you did speak as a reference to one who is a male early on. Me, exactly. Yeah, good point. Yeah, so she has run into a few, but she doesn't know them as in their friends, or she's run into them as if she's been acquainted with them, or people that she's met. No, she doesn't know them as in she would remember them or they are friends. Most of her friends were already said, most of her friends have gone to 3D chambers, and 30% have gone with the aliens. Everybody who's one of the 12 is here, all the 12,000. Really, the 144,000 are here on this planet right now. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you even had a laugh at the fact that I am so obsessed with this concept of the 12,000, but I hope you find it as fascinating as I do. I just think it's mind-boggling, especially considering how we think of individuality here. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.